Let's talk about Lebanon. You might have heard that things are bad, but you probably don't realize how bad. 4 out of 5 people are living in poverty. There are shortages of pretty much everything. People are fighting over fuel, and anyone who can leave is.
شو بدي اقول لك بستعطف اي دولة بالعالم اذا سمعت صوتي تعطيني هجرة انا وعائلتي لسافر لعندها.
Lebanon basically is a plane that's crashing but hasn't crashed yet.
There's finally a new government after more than a year. But the thing is, in Lebanon, the government is often part of the problem.
It's the same political parties blamed for years of corruption and mismanagement.
At the end of the day, it's not really about the government formation. It is really about what is this government going to do?
Lebanon is unraveling on so many fronts, and all the different crises are compounding each other. So what's happening? And why is it so hard to fix things? To give you an idea of just how quickly Lebanon is collapsing, you have to realize that it's even worse than Venezuela, a poster child of devastated economies.
It took Lebanon less than 2 years to get to where Venezuela was over a 6-year period.
After years of corruption, mismanagement, and dysfunctional politics, Lebanon's dealing with a huge currency crisis, and that's at the root of so many other problems right now.
والله اللحم قلنا بدي اقول لك قد ايش من العيد ما في بيتنا ما فينا 150,000 الكيلو منين بدنا نجيب.
Everything is much more expensive. Inflation is very high. The currency has completely imploded.
So here's what's going on. In the late 1990s, the Lebanese pound was pegged to the US dollar. The exchange rate was fixed at 1,500 pounds for $1. Now, the problem with that is Lebanon's economy wasn't strong enough to really justify that value. It was sort of artificial. For a long time, the government and banks managed to prop up the currency to maintain that peg. But now they're at a point where they just can't do that anymore. And so the currency has crashed, losing up to 90% of its value in the last 2 years. And that means people's savings and salaries have tanked.
Whatever you make, you make about just 90% less of what you made before. Unfortunately, yeah, everything revolves around this currency.
If your currency is worth less, it makes importing things much more expensive. For Lebanon, that's a massive deal because it imports nearly everything, including all its fuel. So now, on top of the currency crisis, there's a fuel crisis. The government simply can't afford to buy enough, and it's abandoned some of the fuel subsidies that helped make fuel affordable for ordinary people. So now you've got both shortages and super high prices.
ما في شيء برمت ساعة هلا ولا راكب عبيت ب 320,000 ما بطلعن صراحة يعني عم يطلع معي راكب عم يبكي عم بيلي 10,000 ما معي مصاري ادفع.
For those that are trying to get to work or school or go about their business, they're fast running out of transport options.
So the fuel crisis is creating a domino effect. Drinking water now costs 4 times what it used to, and the lights are literally going out because there's no fuel for generators.
Constant obstructions from, this is an example of the electricity going off. You're talking about some places not getting more than a couple of hours of electricity a day this summer. And when it comes to hospitals, when it comes to people where you have young children or elderly, this is a health risk.
So it only gets worse because now you've got a health crisis too. Hospitals are struggling. The UN has got involved, even supplying fuel to help keep generators running. And like other imports, medicine has become too expensive or hard to find. Even ordinary drugs like paracetamol, let alone life-saving ones for diabetics or cancer patients. So people like Marina are stepping in. She set up a charity to coordinate donations of medicine from abroad.
We crossed the red lines and we're really facing hard and harsh times. At the end, this is not our job. This is the job of the state. But since we do not have a state, we are doing this job.
That idea that the state is missing in action, well, that's why things have become so desperate.
Lebanon is definitely a rare case of a country with virtually no viable state services or social services or social institutions.
The government has completely imploded. As an institution, delivery of basic services have completely stopped.
And this isn't exactly new. It's almost as if Lebanon is in a permanent state of political crisis. And critics say part of the problem is the system itself. Now, the way it works is that the 3 biggest sects are guaranteed representation. That was the deal to keep the peace after the Civil War. So for example, the president is always a Maronite Christian, the prime minister is always Sunni, and the speaker of parliament is Shia. But in reality, it's led to political gridlock, infighting, and nothing really gets done.
It's really about, who gets which government-sponsored contracts, what kind of company affiliated with who. When you're forming a government, for example, it's not just about who is the best person to handle the Ministry of Economy. It's whether the president, who is a Maronite Christian, should pick that minister, whether it's the prime minister or Sunni Muslim, to pick it. And it becomes a horse trading situation.
You end up with a lot of corruption and accusations that politicians are only serving their own interests, not working for the good of the country. A couple of years ago, hundreds of thousands of people protested to say as much. And after the horrific explosion in Beirut last year, there was outrage directed at politicians, and so far no one's been held to account.
الله لا يوفقنا دنيا ولا آخرة وحسبي الله ونعم الوكيل فيهم. كثر خير الله الحمد لله نحن منيح بس راح كل شيء.
What's happened recently is that the political parties have finally agreed on a new government after 13 months.
Lebanon's feuding politicians have now agreed how to distribute power in a new cabinet. But most of the faces are familiar.
Like billionaire Prime Minister Najib Mikati, who's had the job twice already.
لوحدي ما عندي عصا سحرية ولا بقدر أعمل العجايب. نحن يا أخوان بحالة صعبة جدا وكلكم عارفين.
He's trying to manage expectations, but they're already rock bottom.
I'm very pessimistic about this government. I think this is just, a morphine dose that was given to the people in order to calm them down.
People just feel that because this is a returning prime minister, this is his third time as prime minister, they say, well, you know what, doesn't matter. If they're calling the shots, then we can't expect the people that put us in this crisis to get us out of it.
And there's a lot that needs doing. Priority number one is to get cash into the country. And the government's best bet is to secure a bailout from the IMF. It's now planning to reopen talks with them after the last one stalled in 2020. But if the government wants money, it will also need to present a recovery plan that includes a bunch of reforms.
We need to get dollars from the rest of the world desperately in order to pump badly needed oxygen for the population. But that only stops the collapse. This country has been very badly managed for a very long time. We need a political transformation.
If there's any chance of that happening, it could start with parliamentary elections coming up in May, but that's a big if. Just like fuel and medicine, hope that politicians will actually change things is in seriously short supply. If you found that useful, check out our recent explainer on Al-Qaeda and click that subscribe button so you don't miss our next episode.